Alright, hello, citizens of the Nigelverse. It is Nige here once again, and welcome back to System Shock Radio. So, a couple things before we begin. First of all, got the FTR t-shirt, of course, the living legends themselves, who may or may not be on their way to AEW. But anyway, also, by the time this goes up, you will have seen my little April Fool's video that I did. It's just a quick little funny thing I wanted to do for the channel because it is April Fool's Day, so I hope you enjoyed and everything. But we got a lot of topics for this episode of System Shock Radio, so without further ado, let's get right into it. Starting with the first thing I want to talk about is that spring, at long last, is here. Hopefully there's no more snow. Doesn't look like there's any more snow forecast for the next few days or so. So hopefully we're in the clear when it comes to spring. Thank goodness, because wow, what a winter here in Buffalo. No joke, this might be it could very well be probably one of the worst winters we've had in the city of Buffalo. A lot of people have speculated that this very well could be like one of the worst winters we've had in Buffalo, and I'm inclined to agree. Between the constant weather, or the constant bad weather we've had, including a straight up ice storm one day, to the unfortunate mortality rate due to the storm that hit us. The storm that hit us. If this is if this is objectively, statistically, the worst winter Buffalo's had, it honestly wouldn't surprise me. So thankfully, spring and summer is here, and spring, summer, I will never take you guys for granted again. I promise I will never take you for granted again, because, oh boy, this was a rough one. But the next thing I want to talk about is these next two topics we're talking about is relating to WrestleMania week. More specifically, WrestleMania weekend. Yes, it is WrestleMania weekend, and very loaded stuff. First thing I want to talk about is the Hall of Fame 2023 class. It was officially finalized as of, if not yesterday, then Wednesday. So this year, a lot of really awesome names, including Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio, one of my absolute favorite wrestlers. One of the best luchadors of all time. I'm someone I grew up watching. To finally see him get his due is awesome, and it's outstanding. And I'm also going to list who they're inducted by, and Rey Mysterio is going to be inducted by Conan, who's his longtime friend, one of the people responsible for bringing Rey into WCW and everything. And so yeah, huge honor for Rey Mysterio. Then we have the Great Muta, who I believe this was his retirement match that he wrestled earlier this year. But very big in Japan and everything. Unfortunately, not too familiar with Japan, but I've heard a lot about Great Muta and everything. He's gonna be inducted by Ric Flair, which is really, really cool. Next up is Stacy Keibler. Stacy Keibler, sadly, kind of before my time. By the time I started watching wrestling, she was no longer in WWE, but very notable both in WWE and WCW and everything. It's not listed here, and this is the wiki article. It's not listed here who she's going to be inducted by. I'm sure they'll find someone to induct her, but yeah, so congrats to Stacy Keibler. Then the celebrity induction this year is actually a good one. It's Andy Kaufman, and he's going to be inducted by probably one of the reasons why Andy Kaufman's going in the Hall of Fame in the first place, and that's Jerry the King Lawler. Of course, very famous rivalry in the Memphis territory between Andy Kaufman and Jerry Lawler, kind of blurring a lot of those lines between reality and kayfabe, and considered one of the first celebrities to cross over into the world of pro wrestling. So, a huge honor for him, and I'm sure it's a huge honor for Jerry Lawler to induct him. And finally, receiving the Warrior Award is referee Tim White, who passed away, I believe, last year, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, so he passed away last year. Longtime referee. I can't really name what he's known for because WWE sure isn't, and it's a bit controversial in taste. But yeah, so he's gonna be receiving the Warrior Award. So really awesome Hall of Fame class. So congratulations to everyone who's appearing in the Hall of Fame this year, who's being inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame this year. Absolutely fantastic class this year, in my opinion. But next up, we're going to be talking about what happens later in WrestleMania weekend, and that is going to be both NXT Stand and Deliver and WrestleMania 39. And I'm going to do predictions for both of them. So, NXT Stand and Deliver, this is going to be uploaded Saturday. So by the time this is uploaded, this will be the day of not only Stand and Deliver, but night one of WrestleMania 39, which admittedly, I'm not the biggest fan of how they scheduled that. I wish WrestleMania, I wish Stand and Deliver was on a different day, like Friday, which is what they usually did for like the takeover events, or when WrestleMania was one night, they did takeover Saturday. But nevertheless, so Stand and Deliver is happening at 1 p.m. on Saturday, and then WrestleMania 39 is happening later on in the night. So I'm going to be giving my predictions for both of them, and both pretty stacked cards, honestly. Now, this is the official cards, at least at the time of this recording, which is I'm recording this Friday evening. So this is the card for right now. Whether or not this changes will be determined. Usually, though, by this time the cards usually don't change, but they might. They added a match. WrestleMania night at WrestleMania 38 with Kevin Owens and Stone Cold, which wasn't a bad thing. That match was awesome, yeah, so let's go through the matches, starting with Stand and Deliver here. We have Johnny Gargano taking on Grayson Waller. And I do like how this kind of a rivalry revisited, because when Johnny Gargano took time off, it was Grayson Waller that attacked him to write him off TV. So Johnny Gargano is now back here in NXT for revenge. Grayson Waller been begging for an opponent, and Shawn Michaels provided him with one in Johnny Gargano. As for who wins this match, honestly, this one is probably going to go to Gargano. Even though Grayson Waller is the up-and-coming star, I feel like this one might go to Gargano. Next up is, and this isn't like how it's officially going to be on like the card itself, like not the match order on the card. This is just the order which is depicted here on the wiki article, and that's Braun Breaker defending the NXT Championship against Carmelo Hayes. Honestly, Carmelo really needs this win. He has been one of like the major parts of not only NXT 2.0 but now the White and Gold era. And Braun Breaker, he's held on to the torch for long enough. It's time for him to pass the torch to Carmelo Hayes. And for Carmelo Hayes to be NXT champion. It was speculated that Braun Breaker might be on his way to the main roster, but that might not be the case, because for the next event, which is NXT Battleground, Braun Breaker is on the poster. But yeah, I think Carmelo Hayes is going to win this one. And honestly, I want Carmelo Hayes to win the NXT Championship here. Next up is the ladder match for the NXT Women's Championship. So originally it was going to be for the vacant title, and it's Zoe Stark, Gigi Dolan, Tiffany Stratton, Lyra Valkyria. If I mispronounce any of these, I apologize. And Indy Hartwell, who just won the spot on Tuesday. And all of them won matches to qualify. But then Roxanne Perez returned. She had collapsed after her defending the NXT Championship against Meiko Satomura. So now Roxanne's going to be in the match itself, and is going to be actually defending the NXT Women's Championship in the ladder match. Honestly, I think out of all these women, I feel like the winner might boil down to I think there's like three potential winners that I'm predicting. That's Roxanne herself, Gigi Dolan, who recently split from Toxic Attraction, I should say, and that's kind of going on the singles run, and Indy Hartwell, who has kind of been and like upset and everything that she's not really given a shot. So I think it's gonna be between those three, but we'll see. Next up is for the NXT Women's Tag Team Championship, as Fallon Henley and Kiana James will be defending against Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. Honestly, I don't think Henley and James are gonna drop the titles because they like just won them at Vengeance Day, which I reviewed. So if you haven't already, go check that out. I don't think they're dropping them yet, but we'll see. Kaden Carter and Katana Shanson. Well, actually, they did kind of hold on to it for a while before dropping them, so we'll see. But yeah, I don't think Henley and James are dropping it just yet. Next up is the Fatal 5-Way match for the NXT North American Championship. A lot of multi-man matches is here. And Wes Lee, the North American champion, will be defending against Dragon Lee, JD McDonough, Ilya Dragunov, and Axiom. Honestly, I feel like you could. Honestly, for this one, I feel like you can make a case for all five of these guys winning. Wesley, he, of course, the champion, putting on really solid matches, and maybe they don't want the title reign to end anytime soon for him. Dragon Lee, the newcomer, but you can tell they're already starting to push him a bit. Now he's on TV. Now he's contending for the North American Championship. JD McDonough, who's been there for a little while, even kind of in the NXT title picture, could win the North American title there. Ilya Dragunov, who, of course, the recent, second to last NXT UK champion before he had to drop it due to injury. Maybe this is kind of his compensation, is popping the title on him, which wouldn't be a bad thing. Dragunov very talented in the ring. And then Axiom, who's kind of portraying this like superhero character, or you can tell they definitely want to push him to a degree. I want to see Axiom and Dijak feud, have like a Daredevil versus Punisher kind of feud, conflicting ideals, both of them kind of trying to be somewhat heroic, but Axiom being more like the justice and like heroic, meanwhile Dijak's more like that vigilante vengeance type of character. I want to see them feud, but as for this match, honestly, it could go any of the ways. He's in that one. Next up is a triple threat tag team match for the NXT Tag Team Championships. Gallus will be defending against both the Creed brothers and the Family. Which is Tony D'Angelo and Stax. Honestly, Gallus is probably going to retain here. The Creed brothers, they already held the titles. I don't think they want to pop the titles back on them just yet, especially because Gallus just won them at Vengeance Day, and honestly, Tony D'Angelo and Stax, that they could win, but I think more people want to see Tony win like a singles title, like the North American Championship or even the NXT Championship. So I think it might go to Gallus. And then lastly is an 8-person mixed tag team match as Chase University, which of course Andre Chase, Duke Hudson, and Thea Hale, as well as Tyler Bate, who's kind of been hanging out with them as of late, will battle the Schism, which is Joe Gacy, Jagger Reed, Rip Fowler, and Ava Rain. Or it looks like she's just listed as Ava. Man, I think they took away her last name. Honestly, this one could go either way. I'm leaning a bit more towards Schism because it looks like they might be pushing that him a bit, but they might also be pushing Chase U as well. Also, this one could go either way, but I think it might go to the Schism. But that is Stand and Deliver taken care of. But now we move on to WrestleMania 39, and they just recently announced what matches will be on what card. So we have Night 1 and Night 2. And again, this is just the order, or that the matches are listed here on Wiki. Aside from one or two of these matches, It's not confirmed what will be like the opener, what will be the main event. Uh, but funnily enough, the opener for night one has been confirmed, and the main event for night two has been confirmed, or like set in stone confirmed. But opening Wrestlemania 39 night one, aka WrestleMania Goes Hollywood, and oh by the way, the stage for WrestleMania 39, mwah, fantastic, really good looking stage. But night one, we'll start off with Austin Theory battling John Cena for the United States Championship. Honestly, Cena's probably not going to win this one. Having Austin Theory he win in this one will really help legitimize him and really help put over Austin Theory as this big future talent. So having Austin Theory win here is probably going to happen. They're probably not going to take the title off him and put it on John Cena. And if they do put it on John Cena, it's probably not going to be for long. Cena's probably going to be a transitional champion. And Cena, involved with Hollywood and everything. And his time as far as wrestling is kind of done for the most part. But we'll see. Then next up is Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul. Oh, yeah, Seth freaking Rollins is facing Logan Paul. Which honestly, that he seeing how both these guys are, Seth can carry pretty much anyone to a good match. Logan is actually, for his credit, he's actually He's very talented in the ring. Actually, for like a newcomer, he's definitely getting it. But as for this one, honestly, he'll probably go to Seth Rollins. I honestly don't see Logan Paul winning this one. Seth put over a lot of people, especially last year, putting over like Cody and then Matt Riddle and stuff like that. But he's probably not gonna lose to Logan Paul here. He might though. We'll see. But yeah, I think Seth is probably gonna win this one. Next up is Trish Stratus, Lita, and Becky Lynch battling Damage Control, which is Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky. Part of me wants to lean towards like the legends slash like faces of Trish Stratus, Lita, and Becky Lynch, but at the same time, Damage Control could really use that credibility. They've teetered on the credibility, but it's kind of been dampened a little bit, especially in this feud. So I really want to see that credibility for Damage Control, but we'll see. Next up is Braun Strowman and Ricochet battling the Street Profits, as well as Alpha Academy and the Viking Raiders in a Fatal 4-Way tag team match. This one, and honestly, you can go to any of these four teams. It probably is going to go to Braun Strowman and Ricochet because they're really starting to build them up. But honestly, having any of these teams pick up the W in this match would be pretty cool. And it could go any of the four-way. Next up, father versus son, Ray versus Dominic. Finally, Ray put his hands on Dominic because Dominic was being a little tool. So Ray finally said, "You want a match at Mania? You got it." This could be a real coming out party for Dominic, a real legitimizer for Dominic in terms of his career, getting a win over his dad Ray, but this probably still be a really solid match and a very emotional driven match, and we'll see how they play on the emotions in the match. Will Ray be hesitant to fight Dominic? Likely. How will Dominic react to his dad and everything? And so from an emotional storytelling standpoint, I want to see how they do this match because as this has kind of been building for a while, ever since Clash of the Castle when Dominic turned on both Ray and Edge. And so we'll see the culmination here at Mania. Next up is Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley for the SmackDown Women's Championship. This one's rumored to main event night one, but I don't think it's been confirmed yet. But it's between this one and then the next and last one for night one, main eventing. But Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley. Not the first time it's happened at Mania. They faced at Mania 36 for the NXT Women's Championship, and then 3 years later, here they go for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Honestly, this one probably is going to go to Rhea. I don't really see Charlotte holding on to the title any longer. Rhea, this would be a great win, not just for her, but for the Judgment Day. Same with the Dominic match. Real big wins for the Judgment Day to help legitimize them even more. Or so I think Rhea's going to take the win here. And apparently they said Charlotte Flair is undefeated in singles matches at WrestleMania. So go figure. And then, last but certainly not least, is the match that a lot more people want to main event is the Usos defending the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. And I think Kevin and Sami are going to win here. Kevin just needs the Tag Team Championship to finish being a Grand Slam champion. And Sami, has been a while since he had a title, and this is kind of what's been leading towards, and that's the Bloodline being knocked off their perch. But it's still going to be a really good match, and also another very emotional match. But yeah, I think Kevin and Sami are going to win, and then they could get the win and then start to have Roman kind of sweat a little bit, start to get nervous that part of the Bloodline's been knocked off their perch. He might be next. He might be next to be knocked off the perch. But now we move to night 2, starting with the triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship, as Gunther will battle Sheamus and Drew McIntyre. Kind of the story here, it's dissension between Sheamus and Drew McIntyre, with Drew McIntyre going after the Intercontinental title and Sheamus feeling betrayed because he was going after the Intercontinental title, and kind of teasing a heel turn for Drew, which is kind of weird because considering how much whining and complaining Sheamus is doing, why is Drew the heel here? But nevertheless, this is still going to be a really solid match. Big meaty match for sure. Gunther and Sheamus put on an absolute barn burner at Clash at the Castle. Sheamus and Drew McIntyre, that rivalry, it was good stuff in terms of match quality. Gunther and Drew McIntyre, I don't think we've seen yet, but yeah, so I'm excited for this triple threat match. It's definitely going to be another banger after banger after banger. But next up, speaking of banger, this ought to be a really solid match, and that's Edge versus Finn Balor. But not just any Edge versus Finn Balor match. No. Not only is it going to be Edge, possibly Brood Edge, versus the Demon Finn Balor, but it's going to be in Hell in a Cell. Ooh, baby, I'm excited. I am super duper excited for this match, especially because apparently Gangrel is going to be accompanying Edge, helping out with the Brood entrance and everything. Sadly, Christian probably can't tag along because he's in AEW, but that's going to be pretty cool. The Demon we haven't seen since Money in the Bank. Not Money in the Bank. Extreme Rules 2021. And the Demon, the first time that Finn is going to be the Demon character as a heel, so we're going to see how that plays out. Next up is another Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match, and I guess this is what they meant by showcase matches, because they said men's and women's showcase, it's just Fatal 4-Way Tag Team matches. And we got Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Natalya and Shotzi versus Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler versus Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville. 3 out of these 4 teams are kind of random for the most part. Some of them have been built up a bit before, but I feel like the only one for the most part that makes kind of sense is Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, because the 4 MMA horsewomen. But as for who wins this one, it's probably going to be Ronda and Shayna. It'd be funny to have Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville win, especially with all the complaining Chelsea and Sonya, more so Chelsea, has been doing with like Adam Pearce and everything. It's funny, both Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville either have or have had some kind of problem with Adam Pearce. Who'd have thunk it? But yeah, it's either gonna be Ronda and Shayna, or just make it like funny and have Chelsea and Sonya win. Next up is the Raw Women's Championship, and that is Bianca Belair defending against Asuka. Now, this one really could go either way. I think they're probably gonna pop this title on Asuka, especially because Bianca has held it for about a year now. Oh, so they might pop it on Asuka. But honestly, if Bianca retained, I probably wouldn't be mad at it. But yeah. So, I think they're gonna try to push Asuka, but it really could go either way. Next up is gonna be Brock Lesnar versus Omos. I don't know about you guys, but I am interested to see how this will go. Another big meaty match. Night two's got the meaty matches, the big meaty matches. This one is probably gonna go towards Brock Lesnar, but it'll still be interesting to see, and it'll be a real like big test for Omos. But at the same time, Omos really could use like a major win, especially to like really push him. And Brock Lesnar could be that major win, but we'll see. Brock's proven before that while he has been dominant, he's not afraid to put over younger talent when it requires. So him putting over Omos here, I think would be really cool. But I think it might go towards Brock. And then finally, which is going to be the main event, because first of all, not just the people involved, but also because, Royal Rumble winner. And that is Roman Reigns defending the undisputed WWE Universal Championship against Cody Rhodes. Cody, I definitely think is taking this one, and they've been building towards Cody winning the world championship, finishing the story and everything. And Roman, who's walked into 3 different WrestleManias now with the titles in the same reign, which is 38, 37, 38, and then gonna be 39. And so having Roman and drop it to Cody here, this next major star that they're building up, wouldn't be a bad thing at all. I think Cody is going to take this one. And I'll be very surprised if Roman wins, but of course it's a possibility, but I'll be very surprised if he wins it here. But yeah, I think it's going to go to Cody. But that is my predictions. So who do you think is going to win at WrestleMania? Next thing we're going to talk about is Sonic Origins Plus coming soon. Yes, they announced Sonic Origins Plus, and it's some pretty cool stuff that they got for Sonic Origins Plus. For starters, we've got some new playable characters, as Amy will now be playable in all the games, which is Sonic Hedgehog 1, 2, Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and Sonic CD. And Knuckles will also be playable in Sonic CD. It's weird that Knuckles wasn't initially playable in Sonic CD, but he will be now. But in addition, we're also getting the Game Gear titles, which we're getting several Game Gear Sonic games that were released on the Sega Game Gear in the collection, which includes, and these are all the Game Gear versions, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, Sonic Blast, Sonic Chaos, Sonic Drift 2, Sonic Labyrinth, Sonic Spinball, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Sonic the Hedgehog Triple Trouble, Tails Adventure, and Tails Sky Patrol. Also, all those Game Gear games will be coming to this collection, and then we're also getting, digital editions and physical editions for this. And for people who have the Origins already, Sonic Origins already, such as myself, they'll have an expansion pack for $9.99. But for those who want to get Sonic Origins Plus, it'll be $39.99. And if you get the physical edition, you'll also get a 20-page art book, reversible cover sheet with new never before seen art, and the other Sonic Origins DLC. So if you get Sonic Origins Plus, you essentially get like the base game and pretty much all this DLC and everything for free, which does kind of suck that people like me who already bought Sonic Origins and essentially have to pay extra for the expansion and everything, and that honestly does kind of suck. But nevertheless, yeah. So I'm actually pretty interested and pretty excited for that. But next up is going to be let's talk about video game remasters. Speaking of stuff like Sonic Origins, I want to talk video game remasters. Um, Video game remasters are interesting, and I'm partially talking about this not just because of Sonic Origins Plus and because of like Resident Evil 4 remaster, which just came out not too long ago, but also because there's a lot of games I want to see remastered. The thing about remasters is it essentially brings the classic and what made it awesome to modern consoles so that you can play it. And for the sake of convenience, that you don't have to seek out the classic console to play the classic game. And yeah, for the most part, it's all around a good time, except when they mess stuff up. But there's plenty of games I want to see remastered. I'm interested to see when they'll be dropping Twilight Princess and Wind Waker remastered for Nintendo Switch. It'd be cool if they remastered some of the old like Mario Kart games, such as like Double Dash for like the GameCube. I wonder if when they'll remaster stuff like Mario Party. I want to see. A lot of people have been talking for years about games like Crash, Twin Sanity, and Spyro Enter the Dragonfly, games which were like rushed, rushed to all hell, being like remastered, or with all the content complete for the game. I think that'd be pretty cool, and yeah, so remaster is very fun stuff, allowing you to take the classic game and bring it to modern consoles, and that's how I've played a lot of games that I didn't play before, such as like the Mega Man games or like Psychonauts, which I have yet to finish, but like the Mega Man games, like Psychonauts, like the Sonic games, like the Sonic Origins and stuff like that. And there's HD remasters, almost in like remake territory, such as like the Crash Insane trilogy or the Spyro Reignited trilogy. So remasters, for the most part, really good stuff. And oops, I accidentally struck my mic there. The next thing we're going to talk about, speaking of video games, is one thing that's not getting remastered this year, and that's E3, because it has been canceled. Now, we kind of saw this coming because a little while ago, PlayStation and Xbox announced they wouldn't be there. And I think Nintendo just pulled out as well of E3. So, because of that, E3 is going to be canceled this year. Now, I know there was something that happened with E3 which caused these games to be, or these game companies to not want to be there. But it does kind of suck that we're not getting E3 this year. Sadly, while I've never watched E3, I know a lot of people have in the past, and it's been something that's been around for a while. So to see it not come back this year, it does kind of suck. But maybe next year. And the last thing I want to talk about is the Golden Rule. Now, what is the Golden Rule? It's one you've probably heard several times before. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Treating others the way you want to be treated. I show you respect, you show me respect in return. And you may ask, why do we do that? Why do we reciprocate responses? Is pretty much to keep things fair for the most part, and sometimes when it's like a negative thing that someone did to us, so we do it back to them, it's out of retaliation. But if I do good stuff for you, wouldn't it be courtesy to also do kindness in return? Like if someone holds the door open for me, I'm gonna hold the door open for someone else, and or that's the case, like paying it forward. So just treating others kind and expecting kindness in return. But on the inverse, if you treat others poorly, don't be surprised if you get treated poorly in return. That's karma, and that's science. Sir Isaac Newton proved that every action has an equal and opposite reaction. And yeah, so just show kindness and get kindness in return. But that's going to do it for this episode. Another kind of lengthy one, but thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do me a favor. Like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends, turn on post notifications so you know every time I upload a video so you can see as soon as it drops. Let me know in the comments below your reaction to it. anything I talked about in this video, and I will see you guys later. Peace.